Star Wars, a couple of assassinations, and Virginia are all on this day. Welcome back to On This Day. Today's date is December 16th, 2021. It is the 350th day of the year. There's 15 days left in 2021. It's the 50th Thursday in the 51st week and the 86th day of fall. We got 5 days until winter. Today is National Chocolate Covered Anything Day. Okay, here's their dorky thing they say on their website. Chocolate lovers rejoice on National Chocolate Covered Anything Day. December 16th offers the chocolate day you've been waiting for. On this day, dip and drizzle your favorite foods in every kind of chocolate imaginable. First of all, I only know of like milk chocolate and dark chocolate. Is there another chocolate? I don't know. Maybe unsweetened chocolate? Chocolate milk? I don't know. As soon as I read chocolate covered anything, I started thinking, well, is there anything food-wise they don't dip in chocolate? And I did a little research and they even have chocolate covered pickles. Yeah, that's a thing. Dill pickles too, not even sweet pickles to go along with the whole chocolate sweet theme. They go dill pickles and then they cover it with sea salt. Looks disgusting, but I don't know. All right, let's see what else December 16th has given us. 1761, 7 Years' War. After a 4-month siege, the Russians take the Prussian fortress of Koenigsberg. I hope that's how you pronounce it. 1773, the American Revolution. We talked about this one last year, but it is very important, so we're going over it again. The Boston Tea Party. Members of the Sons of Liberty, disguised as Mohawk Indians, dump hundreds of crates of tea into Boston Harbor as a protest against the tea tax. The Sons of Liberty had some pretty interesting people in their little group. Back in Boston, you had Samuel Adams, Benjamin Church, Benjamin Kent, John Hancock, Paul Revere, Isaiah Thomas, who went on to be a Detroit Pistons great basketball player. Oh, I'm sorry, that's a different Isaiah Thomas. Isaac Sears, Patrick Henry, and everyone's favorite, Benedict Arnold. You know what's really funny? Benedict Arnold wasn't just hated here for being a turncoat in the United States. When he moved to Canada, as, kind of to escape the United States for being a traitor, he became like a landlord and a tax collector, and everyone hated him there. He eventually had to flee to England. I read an article one time of the most hated people in history, and there was Adolf Hitler's number 1, and then Joseph Stalin, and they start listing all these people, and I get down to like number 9, and it's Benedict Arnold. It's like, come on. He's up there with all these mass murderers and, just horrible tyrants, and then Benedict Arnold. 1777, Virginia becomes the first state to ratify the Articles of Confederation. 1811, the first 2 in a series of 4 severe earthquakes occur in the vicinity of New Madrid, Missouri. I didn't even know Missouri got earthquakes. 1903, Taj Mahal Palace and Tower Hotel in Bombay, India, first opened its doors to guests. 1947, William Shockley, John Bardeen, and Walter Brattain build the first practical point contact transistor. Now, I don't know too much about this, but what I gathered was this point of contact transistor helped make like radios and things portable. Before that, they were a big thing. There was tubes inside it. This actually made it so you could have a handheld radio, smaller radios, things. It was more durable and you could actually move things around. Interesting. I thought. I didn't understand everything I read about it, but I thought it was interesting. 1979, Libya joins 4 other OPEC nations in raising crude oil prices, which has an immediate dramatic effect on the United States. Now, if you're old enough, you remember those long lines, the oil crisis we had back then. There was gas rationing. It was horrible. I mentioned this in a past video where it had something to do with it, but back in the day, everyone had to line up to get their gas. I mean, gas was in short supply, so you had certain days your car could get filled up. So there was this big hassle. Well, my uncle who owned a car dealership, they would take their like big cargo vans down to the gas station. They'd send one of the porters down there with it. He'd fill up the tank, bring it back to the place. All the salesmen would siphon the gas out of it so they didn't have to wait in the lines. And he did this all the time. Did it for family too for a while. It was pretty funny. 1985, Paul Castellano and Thomas Bellotti are shot dead on orders from John Gotti. He assumes the leadership of New York's Gambino crime family. I remember when this happened, and then seeing the pictures of it are pretty alarming, that they just shot these guys on the street like that. Paul Castellano grew up in a crime family. He was born in Bentonhurst, Brooklyn in 1915 to Italian immigrants. His father was a butcher, and he dropped out of school in the 8th grade to learn the butchering trade, but his father was also sort of a low-level mobster and kind of got Paul involved in it. At like 15, he was running numbers for the mob while working at the butcher shop, things like that, and over the years, he worked his way up. In 1976, Carlo Gambino, the head of the Gambino crime family, died of natural causes. Now, they expected him to name another guy as the new head of the family, but that guy was in jail, couldn't contest it, and he thought that Paul Castellano would be a better fit to help make the family money in the long run. He was more into more respectable mob type stuff like construction and, pressuring companies to buy from this person and that person, and he wasn't doing drugs or things like that. He actually banned the sale of drugs in the Gambino crime family. This angered a lot of people in the family, including John Gotti. John Gotti by this time was kind of up there. I guess he was a captain or something like that, which is obviously below a boss. And he was in fear that Castellano would kill him and his brother for dealing drugs. So he organized a hit on Paul Castellano, which this is kind of ballsy considering he's killing a boss. That's like not a good thing in the mob. I'm not a mob expert, but killing your boss does not sound like a good thing when you're dealing with a bunch of other criminals. But he did it. He killed him, and a few days later, he was named the boss of the Gambino crime family. And Paul Castellano will always be remembered as that guy that got shot in public on the streets of New York City. 1989, U.S. Appeals Court Judge Robert Smith Vance is assassinated by a mail bomb sent by Walter Leroy Moody Jr. Our friend Walter Leroy was a little pissed off because the judge refused to expunge his past conviction for sending a bomb to a car dealership who repossessed his car. So this guy was a total wingnut. Funny thing was, Vance wasn't even on that panel that was considering his expunged conviction. So obviously Walter did some hard time and he died in 2018 in prison at the age of 83. Movies released on December 16th, 2016, Rogue One. This was a spin-off of the Star Wars franchise that follows a rebellious woman as she attempts to steal the plans for the Death Star. So if you're a big Star Wars fan, you know there's a line in the movie that says a lot of people died getting these plans that they had on how to blow up the Death Star. Well, this is the story behind that statement. I thought this was one of the better Star Wars movies that's come out in the last 2 decades or so. I really like this one. I think I've watched this one 5 times. Matter of fact, I may watch it again tonight. This movie is the first Star Wars franchise movie that does not say the name Skywalker. The movie takes place before the original Star Wars films, so he wasn't even on their radar at that time. Born on December 16th, 1967, Eric Castle. He is one of the co-founders of the website Roblox, which is this massive game that all the kids play. I mean, it's really interesting. If you're 5, you could play this game. All the way up to 25-year-olds play this game. It's really interesting. My granddaughter plays it all the time. He graduated from Cornell University. He worked at a company called Knowledge Revolution as their VP of engineering. During Roblox's beginning, it was actually called Dynablocks. Sadly, he never really got to see how successful Roblox was. He passed away from cancer in 2013, and I would say Roblox blew up around 2018. Died on December 16th, 1980, Colonel Sanders. He was born Harlan David Sanders, and he was an American businessman, entrepreneur. He's known for his Kentucky Fried Chicken franchise. Guy had an interesting life, though. He worked as a farmer, a salesman, a steamboat pilot, and a railroad fireman. I watched like a History Channel thing on him one time. It was very interesting. When he originally started selling or trying to, get franchises for his business, it was a special pressure cooker that they had to buy from him. And he would go there, and if they weren't cooking his chicken right and he got mad, he would take the pressure cooker, put it in his car, and drive off and basically shut them down. All right, that's today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you got some information out of it. Now go out, have a great day, be nice to each other.